So there's always strange things racing around out there. And we had a lot of that sort of thing happen in Rapid City. They chased geese.
Yeah.
And didn't get too many. I never picked up, except for that big thing that comes streaking across at 25,000 miles an hour. I never picked up anything else on the radar that we identified as unidentified flying object.
Yeah.
I became famous on the Rapid City, South Dakota newspaper because the South Dakota State Troopers called us, and they ended up at our radar site. And I was talking to one of their dispatchers, and he said, "One of my troopers is down here in the Black Hills, and he's got about 30 people standing around him, and they're all staring at this flying saucer that's hovering over the top of this mountain." And I said, "Well, where are you?" And he tells me where he is, and I identify that point on my radar scope. And he says, "You got something to come look at it?" I said, "Yeah, I'm sending an F-86 out there with a radar that'll come look at it." Because that was our instructions. That anytime you get a report of an unidentified flying object, go see what it is. So I sent one, hit the scramble button, and of course those guys were spring loaded. They wanted to go fly. So he goes roaring off. Now it's daylight. And he's got 30 people standing around there watching all this stuff that the state trooper does. And he's talking to his dispatcher who's talking to me. Oh. And I'm talking to the pilot in the airplane. So we get them all lined up. And he gets lined up, and he's coming right at that mountain peak. And he says, "I've got radar contact with something that's a little higher than the mountain peak." And he gets within about 2 miles of it, and he says, all of a sudden that thing goes vertical, just boom, right off his scope. And everybody's standing there watching, said, "Goodness, that thing just disappeared." Oh, okay. Well, the Rapid City newspaper the next morning's got Lieutenant Johnson, blah, 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 blah. Tell that crap. And what was, they just repeated everything that I had said to the dispatcher, which I didn't make no sense, but I had people calling me from various headquarters who want to know, "What are you doing giving in interviews?" I said, "I'm not giving interviews." "Well, why are you in the newspaper?" All that mess. And then nothing ever came of it other than I finally got them convinced. I said, "Look, this is what took place. Now, we don't have any radar returns from this object ever. My information as to where it was located was relayed to me from the state trooper on the ground to his dispatcher to me, and from me to the pilot in the F-86. Now, what's unique is the pilot, the F-86 radar's got a recorder on it. Mm-hmm. Well, that disappeared.
Yeah.
So there was all kind of Mickey Mouse, stuff going on. But it was real evident by the time I got through pilot training and got back in the field and was doing all that stuff, that you never wanted to admit that you ever saw anything, because it would ruin you, is what it amounted to. They would harass you into saying that, "Oh, I thought it was a bunch of geese," or anything. So, "Oh, I didn't see anything," or something, because the guys that actually got on their horse and said, "Yeah, I saw it, and it was in formation with me," blah, blah, blah. Well, they just crucified them because they didn't want any acknowledgement. Well, now they've changed all their stories to where they're acknowledging all that stuff.